us forward. Taking a moment to remember the word of Andre Guy, who said, "The more we share, the more we have." I am delighted to welcome Dr. Shankar K.S., Head of Department of Mechanical Engineering. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Lokesh V., Head of Department of Marine Engineering. Welcome, sir. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Manoj Khanna, our esteemed guest and resource person for today's session. Mr. Khanna completed his Bachelor of Engineering in Marine Engineering from Srinivas Institute of Technology.
Yes, thank you, Tejaswini.
Mr. Khanna also participated in various debate sessions. Later, he was placed at Anglo-Eastern Maritime Services and wireless ship management from IMS Goa. His dedication and hard work enabled him to clear the Anglo-Eastern sponsorship interview and complete his graduate marine engineering course. Currently, Mr. Khanna is working as a Class 4 engineering at Anglo-Eastern Ship Management. On behalf of the management, principal HODs, faculty members, and students, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Manoj Khanna. We are proud of his achievements and look forward to learn from his experiences. Welcome, sir. Following
Yes,
the
thank you,
esteemed
Tejaswini.
guest, I would like to welcome Professor Sunil Prakash, AIMES Faculty Coordinator, and Professor Satya Prakash, ASMA Faculty Coordinator. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the faculty members of both the Mechanical and Marine Engineering Department. Welcome to all of you. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants and students who joined us today. Welcome to all of you. Without a rudder, our ship is lost. Without a leader, our people lost their way. I request Dr. Shankar K.S., Head of Department of Mechanical Engineering, Srinivas Institute of Technology, Mangalore, to address the gathering as the president of today's function.
Very good morning to all of you. Resource person for the day, our own alumnus, Mr. Manoj Khanna, my colleagues, participants, and dear students. The Momentum Expert Talk Series is an initiative of the Department of Mechanical and Marine Engineering, wherein we'll be trying to bring in industry people to come and share their experience and views and how we can implement some of the best practices of the industry in our student community. So on that note, today we have Mr. Manoj Khanna, who was our marine student, a very good student and truly hardworking guy who has scaled up into the heights, and he has today, into a fourth engineer. And it's our pleasure to welcome him and also to listen his experiences during his GME course. And also I'm very sure he'll be sharing his, thoughts on his experience in the college. And this talk series should uh, help our students or enable our students to gain whatever the skills which is required for the industry, because in the classrooms we can have the teaching, and they'll go for a industrial internship sometimes, brief period, maybe some visits, but first-hand information from our own student or alumni who will be, sharing what it takes to become a successful, professional is a very important one. And I expect all the students to be vigilant listeners today and also pose questions to Mr. Kanna so that whatever the doubts they have or maybe smallest of, doubts they have as when they come and join GME course, what it takes, how it will happen. Both the marine as well as aspiring marine engineers in the mechanical department should take this session very fruitfully. I hope it will be a successful one and a very fruitful one. Once again, I wish a good day for all of you and have a nice session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. We are grateful for your guidance. Now I request Mr. Manoj Khanna to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Tejaswini, for the invite, and thank you, Dr. Sankar K.S., our beloved HOD, for giving me this opportunity. And even I would like to thank Sunil Prakash sir for reaching out to me and just telling me, can you give a talk on so and so. As always, I was totally ready, and I I told, yes sir, I will do it. Just tell me when and what time. So yeah, I'm so glad to be here today. First of all, a very good morning to everyone. My warm wishes to my dear faculty, friends, and my fellow students. To be honest, I'm very excited today. One thing being that I've cleared my class 4 exam, and the second thing being me addressing you people today. So I still remember I was on the other side listening to such talk from my seniors or second engineers, hoping that I will be there one day. So I'm very glad today to address this to you people. So I'm going to address my journey till class 4. So what are the struggles and hardships I had to face to reach this point. Thank you for the opportunity once again. So I'll just start sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Manoj, visible.
Okay, thank you, sir. So yes, so as today's topic is my journey till fourth engineer. So it's just gonna be an interaction between myself and these fellow students who have a lot of doubts in their mind. I will share my experiences, what it took, how was the process, and what I learned on the way. So that is what I think it's gonna be really useful. I hope you guys have a nice session today. So these are the things I want to discuss. So I would start with my introduction. Then I would just briefly tell you about my story from my childhood, I would say, but I would not drag it too much. So nothing to worry about it. So then the main topic, how I cleared my class 4. Then why I chose this career path, and how I joined and how now you can join, since you guys are mechanical and marine engineering graduates. So I would sharing that as well. I would also share the requirements that it requires, my experiences on board, what I learned, then the pros and cons of the industry. Then in the end, would I recommend anybody coming up to me and asking, I want to join this field, how would you suggest it? So we'll be discussing this today. So yes. No, before heading into anything further, let me take a moment to just introduce myself. My name is Manoj Khanna. I'm a proud alumni of Srinivas Institute of Technology, Marine Engineering Department, and I passed out in the batch of 2020. Now I'm currently sailing with Anglo Eastern as a class 4 engineer. I have previously finished 2 contracts, one in a bulk carrier vessel and the other in an LPG carrier vessel. So this is a brief introduction about me. So if it is okay, we can go ahead with our main topic. So right, my journey. So me myself, I have been an I wouldn't say I'm no class topper or no I never had an imagination that I should get the first rank in the class. I should stand above everyone. In my mind, it's always used to be that in class, if you're trying to learn something, I think you should understand it rather than just just recording it in your mind and just writing it in the exam. So that is what I was following. So I wasn't great in academics, so I was an average student. But in this class 4 preparation, the same mindset actually helped me a lot because when I saw the question in the paper or when the surveyor had asked me few questions, since I had understood the topic, it was much easier to frame an answer and tell it. If I had really tried to by heart it, I would have gotten confused because when you by heart, I think you have to be in the same sentence. You cannot, if you deviate from the sentence, then you might lose your track. So yes, I was an academically struggling student. So let's jump into the topic of the day, okay, my journey. So I would like to just tell you 2 instances from my childhood that really influenced me to choose this career path. So when I was young, I used to go to Chennai to my cousin's place. I used to visit often. So since I'm from Bangalore, it's just a 5 hour drive from here. So I used to go often in my holidays. And when I went to my cousin's place, I used to go to his terrace. And from the terrace, in the horizon I could see some ships. It was close to the Chennai port, so I could easily identify ships from the terrace. So always one thought used to strike my mind. I knew the ships are made of metal, of course, and how come the ships are floating in water? Such a big, huge metal structure, like, floating calmly in water. So this sparked that curiosity inside me. And the second instance, my dad being a specialist in two-wheeler assembly and disassembly. So from childhood, I used to be with him. I used to just help him out. Whenever I'm free and I'm bored, I used to just visit him. And when my friends used to, be building blocks and having Lego and race cars and all that toys they had, I used to actually be handling with a piston and a piston ring and assembling and disassembling of the engine. So that was really interesting for me because anything which is just left like that, I would like to open it up, just see what is there inside, and I would like to close it. This box is back. At my home also, my mom used to just like start scolding me, telling that you're not leaving anything behind. You just get a screwdriver, you get a screw to loosen, you'll just start loosening it. So something like that. So these two really influenced me, and uh, I was just like a normal kid growing up. Finished my schooling and my pre-university, and now I was at a point where I have to choose a career path. Right? You guys would have been in that the same point before coming to University of Technology. So since I was a science student, I had 2 options. One, I could go into the medicine field. The other one is through engineering. I was totally out of commerce. That was not an option as well. So I came to know that my brother's friend is a marine engineer on a ship. So I was thinking to myself, hey, what is this? What is this new thing I'm hearing? The first time I was hearing that. So this was in my class 12, after my class 12. So what is this? What is this new, job? The job opportunity they're talking about. So I started researching about it. So that's the moment when I really first saw what it actually is. Then I was totally researching about it. I was seeing how can I proceed further. And since I was influenced by my dad with engines and all this, I was deciding, okay, we'll continue with engineering rather than going to the navigation side. On ship, there are two departments: the navigation department and the engine department. So I was fixed on that. Then the first thing in my research I found out that Srinivas Institute of Technology, they are offering a 4-year BE in marine engineering. So I was like, I have to do this. I was not much interested in doing and completing CS and doing coding and all that stuff into IT or something. So I wanted something different. I wanted something to really give me that the satisfaction in the end. So yes, I went through with that, and as uh, as I told you, the first stop was Srinivas Institute of Technology. So I was in front of the gate of the park campus, and there there was a lot of emotions inside me. This was the first time I'm far away from home, so that was a new thing, and I was excited and also scared. What no, you get that feeling whether you have whether this would help you to grow, or have you chosen the right thing, because you cannot predict the future, right? You don't know how it is going to be, and again you have to study. There will be a lot of exams, there will be assignments, all that things were in my mind, but I never turned back. I was like, I've just put one foot in it, so let's jump into it. So there's no taking the foot back. So that was my attitude. And then after my first and second year, which was, I would say, okay, in the third year, we came into the marine engineering department as a proper what to say. We had become the part of the family. So totally we were into the marine engineering department, and I would tell maybe how many times you might ask that the marine engineering department will always remain very close to my heart, because it was so special, when being around there, and my classmates who I shared so many memories with, my dear faculties who are in the meeting as well now. So happy to see them again. The exams which we had to face, the blue book, there'll be like the constant struggle. But yeah, you always need a struggle in life. That is what I believe. And everything was just the best part of this journey which I'm trying to. Sorry to interrupt. Am I audible? No, am I loud enough? Okay, thank you, sir. So after coming to the marine engineering department, there was a sense of, okay, at least no, we have a clear path now. I can do this, but I needed that proper, guidance and nurturing for to really, achieve what I had in mind. Because you might think that you might achieve all this, but without the proper mentorship and dedication, I think it is really hard, because it's really hard to do that. So I knew once I stepped into the marine department that with proper guidance, I will be able to tap into my potential. and create my own destiny. So that is what I did. I was like, whatever it is, I just have to, utilize this opportunity. And as usual, my faculties were really, helping me with this part, and that's what I did. Believe me, guys, I have cleared my class 4 now, but it was all pre-planned 3 years ago. So from 3 years from now, I was in I think my third year, my sixth semester. From that time, I had clearly plotted a career path, telling that okay, 2020 I'll be finishing my graduation. That is my BTech. Then in 2021 I'll be doing my GME, but I hadn't chosen which institute. But I was sure that I will be doing GME. 2022 to 23 I'll be sailing. I'm finishing my CTEN. And 2020 by 2024 I will have a class 4 years. So this was all pre-planned. I'm telling you. I still have that map with me, and sometimes I used to look at it. So yes, I just want to tell one thing. So without pre-planning, if you're trying to execute something, it is possible, but there is a chance of getting lost as well. So that's why I had to do this with the help of my one of my dear faculty who is in the meeting. So that was it. Then at the end of seventh semester, that was a time where I had to perform in the interviews that are coming up, because once you finish that the exam, you can be much more relaxed and focus on your project. Then you can step into the career path. So this was my goal. So as soon as I started to enter into the seventh sem, I started preparing for the interviews which are going to happen in the end of the seventh sem. So I started preparing. I had some backlogs. My CGPA was not up to the standard that is required, but I made it a point that I will work hard. I will try my level best. Whatever I can do, I will do. So that in the end of the day, it's going to be all fruitful. So I was never minding whether I was slept or I had eaten anything, because in the back of my mind, I was always preparing. So, uh, so at the end of the seventh sem, I had already been sponsored by 3 companies. So I had Great Eastern with me, I had Anglo Eastern, and I had Valley Ship Management from IMS Goa. So I had 3 options in my hand itself. I do not want to ask anybody else to give me an opportunity. I already had in my hand. So I was really happy in that moment, because all the struggles led to something fruitful. Like you cannot go for it. So that was a really happy moment for me. Then I chose Anglo Eastern because I believe Anglo Eastern has more ships compared to the other 2 companies which I had. Hence, the waiting period is less, and there is a 100% placement once you get into the Anglo Eastern Maritime Academy, and you get trained by them. Training is also good, and there is 100% placement. So this is how I would suggest anybody going into the merchant navy, that you get sponsored by a company. You do not finish a course and start searching for a company. Don't do that. Just get sponsored, finish the training, and the company will take care of the rest of the thing. So that is what I would suggest. So after doing my GME, after completing my GME, with a lot of hurdles, I wasn't slowing down. My pace wasn't slowing down because I was just moving forward. Because if I've come so far, I can even go further. So that was my attitude at that time. So I did not give up. I chose Anglo Eastern. After my GME, it was time for my first sail. So this moment was like whatever you're dreaming of now, when it's about to happen. So that was the rush of emotions inside me. So the first sail. So I'm going to really sail on on a ship. I'm going to really be on a ship. I'm going to do the work, whichever I had. As I was pre-planned, I was doing all researches about that. So I knew. So it was time. It was time. So after all the documentation was verified, I get my first call that I have to board a vessel from Canada. So again, it was exciting and nerve-wracking because this is going to be my first international flight. I was I was even pinching myself, thinking that this is just a dream or it's not true, because I'm at the point where I had planned I will be, which I was dreaming of. Every night when I sleep also, this was constantly running in my mind. When I board my first vessel, when will I start my journey? Because when you are about to achieve something, right, there will always be a delay. So that delay was there. So I had to be really patient. I have to control my patience and wait for the moment, because if I had tried to, like, no, I can't wait, I would have lost this opportunity. So that is what I learned from this point. So patience is always going to pay off. If you've done the work, you have to be patient. So I traveled to Canada. So it was a new experience. Then I was on board. I was on board. Trust me, it was surreal at the first. First trip was an awesome experience. I got to learn so much. I really enjoyed my time there. I interacted with new crew members. So this was my first time. Everybody were Indian on board, so it didn't be different. Rather than being with your friends on a vacation or something like that. But it also helped me to learn more, fluent Hindi. So I would say it's a win-win. So after that, I interacted with everyone and also started learning and improving every day, because on board a ship, you have to be on your toes. I guess. We are like a doctors at sea. When a doctor gets an emergency, he or she will get a call saying that there's an emergency, you have to kindly report. It is very similar on board. Yes, you will get your free time and all, but when there's an emergency, you have to report. So there's like a 24/7 window. Like anytime you can get an emergency. But I was ready for that. I was ready for that. Then whatever negative traits that I had within myself were all diminishing, because I was interacting with the people. I started to learn so many things from them, and all my positive traits started highlighting. So they also appreciated that, and they really, we started gelling together into a proper team. And even doing in the smallest of work, we would have that proper teamwork, to get the job done more efficiently. So yes, that was my first experience, and it just opened me up. So that is what I would tell you. My first sale. Then after that, I had to sign off after my contract. I did around 5 months, so I had to sign off after that. Then I had some few documentation with the Anglo for the next sale. So I was ready. I was like, I came back. I started immediately telling them that I'm ready to join again, because I was hungry for that. Because I knew that once if we clear class 4, I think that's one of the first hurdle that we cross. So I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to sit at home. I was enjoying my time in my first shift. Like I'm ready for the second shift. Even if it is not going to be good time, I'm ready for it. So my second shift, there was a call for that. So, but in my second shift is where I really became a professional. So as previously told by our beloved HOD, so this is where I really became a professional. I was trained, and I was thinking myself that I'm already a fourth engineer. So because I was aware that my class 4 is not far away, so I had to start thinking like that, so that it's going to be a easy ride in my class 4. It is always in the back of my head. So in my second shift, we were mainly transiting in Russia in the winter time. So it was like extremely cold out there. So I learned a new skill again. I started to adapt to a different climate, adverse weather conditions. So that's a new skill. That's what I would like to tell you guys also. Every day, if you're trying, you have a chance to learn something new, just start learning and start adapting. So that was one thing I learned. And second thing was my chief engineer was on board was not so good as my first shift chief engineer. And since I had responsibilities, he was kind of a little bit harsh on me because even I knew that because I had to, I couldn't be slack at the time. I had to be on my toes because he had given me some certain responsibilities of a fourth engineer because there was no fourth engineer on me. So I had to adapt to that also. So you cannot expect always, uh, good people around you. You have to always be ready for anything. That is what I would suggest. But when I'm feeling low or when I'm feeling, after maybe he scolds me, when everybody, even since when I'm a human, I used to feel low. But I would try to use that energy in something more fruitful. So I would start preparing something, or I would be more vigilant in my task because I knew if I do a mistake, I'm going to get scolded. So I should hit the gymnasium. I should start working out. All this frustration, there was a punching bag, so I should start punching it. But I used to never show it in front of him. So I was always humble. My attitude was like that. Because since he's my senior, I had to respect him. And since I've come here to learn, I have to accept it. So if this is the process this is the path which is gonna go, then let it go. So you cannot deviate from the path because you have already chosen this path, right? So yes, so that was my second shift in brief. So I would like to talk about it more, but since we have time constraints, I would like to close my second shift chapter here. So after that, I signed off, and as today's topic suggests, I cleared my classwork. So when I passed my final oral exam, I think that was the most happiest moment because this is as I told you previously as well. This moment required a lot of patience and hard work. So I believe that the fruit of struggle and hard work is the sweetest, and I think I literally tasted that.
డిసెంబర్ 11వ తారీఖు నుంచి జనవరి 15 వరకు
I think someone is on mute now. So that's a small brief about my journey. I understand that I have to jot it down so to make it precise. But I'm so glad sharing it with you all today. Thank you for listening to my journey so far. So this was about my journey, and now as I told you, my class of preparation. Well, it took around 7 months to finish my exams. So we had 10 functions. In my first attempt, I was able to clear all the 9 functions, but there was one function which is a bit tricky. So I was not able to clear it in my first attempt. But in my second attempt, I was able to clear it. So and it was really fruitful. 7 months of struggle, turned out to be really good. And every day I used to prepare for 10, 12 hours, which is an impossible task for me because I would just study the day before the exam, see the previous year questions and go with it because and I've never done this 10 or 12 last time, but I had to do that because I knew the seriousness of the situation. If I had failed even more functions, I knew it would become more late, and by the meantime I could finish with this at one stretch and then relax and then prepare for whatever is next. So that was in my mind. And since 7 months, when you come out of this in this career, I think this is a disadvantage that you don't get paid when you're at home. So it was a huge issue for me because for the exams, I spent around maybe 90,000 or 1 lakh. This was the cost of the exams, all the traveling and courses which I have to do. And since I had spent like that, there was a shortage of finances for the further whatever is to be done. So In the meantime, I started to go to a regular job, a local job, so I could support myself and not expect from my parents. So I was doing that, and I was managing. It is possible. It's not an impossible task. It is possible. Yes, I was losing my sleep and not able to cope with it in the beginning, but I knew from the beginning. I've been telling you that. I always remember this quote, which is like, which is from Robert Hughes, which just says whatever I've been telling this far. The struggle you are in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. So you just have to believe in that and just go with it. So I was just remembering this quote and just counting my days. Like, okay, today, every morning I should get up and just read this quote. And trust me, even after finishing class 4, I have not quit that job. I'm still going to the job because I really like going there. I really like, it's a different experience again. So it's just whatever you learn, whatever you learn, try to learn, whatever it is. So you just have to gain experience. So that's an usual question, which I get asked many times. Why did I choose this career path? First of all, actual reason is the money, of course. You will get paid in dollars. In my first ship, I was getting paid around $600, and in my second ship, it was around $900 because second ship I chosen to sail on an LPG ship. So since the risks are more, the pay was also a little bit better. So I would tell that whoever asked me this question, I would first say that because uh, after that is what other things are gonna jump, and it's not a regular 9 to 5 job. Yes, I told you to be 24/7, be alert and ready. But once you finish your contract, you can come back home, and once enter into your senior ranks, I think you can come back home and really chill because you would have earned in your contract. You can come back and take your time off, take time for yourself, start visiting places, and start doing whatever you wanted to do because you will have such a lot of free time, which is not possible when you're going to a daily IT job or other kinds of jobs you're doing because you have to show up every day. So Saturday Sunday you might get, then again the same cycle is going to repeat. On board there is no Saturday Sunday as well, so you have to work the entire 6 months. But it depends on your seniors because some seniors might even tell you to take an off, maybe Sunday, just a half day or something. So the other thing is I have become more responsible at such a young age because, as I told you, in my second shift is when I learned this trait. I was given jobs which were overwhelming. So I was not expecting that. So I had to learn about the job. I had to execute it because there's nobody else who's gonna do. You have to do. So that was one. And the second thing is when you have to have to report at a particular time. You have to be in that spot at that time. So you become more punctual. You actually don't snooze off your alarms for the first time, which most of you do, I guess now. So you can't do that because you have to show up. And since being a junior, you have to not lose whatever good reputation you've gained. So that plays a major role in your appraisal and your promotions. So that's what I learned from the responsibility at a young age point. Travel the world, of course. You guys would have seen this everywhere. Now in Instagram also there are a lot of influencers who are posting from different countries. I do agree. But when you go into the tanker fleet, I think it's really a little bit hard to travel to other countries, and you'll be far off from the port, so it's not possible. But when I was in my first ship, I really got an opportunity to visit 10 countries. So my first ship, 10 countries is a huge deal for a guy who has not been out of India. So That's a huge. You get new experiences from everywhere. So you start meeting people, you know, start going out with your seniors who are so professional when on board and are so jovial when they go out. So you'll see that. Then international crew. My first ship were mostly of Indians. My second ship, they were Filipinos, they were Russians. So that was another new experience because you can really see how they think, what is their perspective, and how you have to adapt to that. You cannot be thinking the way you think at home. So you have to change according to that, or to speak according to that. So that was one professional attitude, as I've told you guys. My second ship is what it really taught me what professionalism is. Long vacations, as I told you. Uh, my time now, I wouldn't count it as a long vacation because that was my time to clear my exam. But yes, when you go into your senior ranks, I think you can take long vacations. You can start traveling the world with your family and temporary seniors. So this point is I feel is a bit more important because, for example, if a manager in an IT firm or an MNC is not treating a person right, that person has to bear him for the entire whatever job time he has selected to be under him. But on board, it's not like that. So the seniors have a lesser contract period, so they'll be signing off soon. So you might feel happy for that. Okay, there's a new senior. I'm going to impress him. It's okay. I couldn't impress this my previous senior, so I'll impress the next senior. So that is what it really plays a role because if you are constantly have a bad senior above you who is constantly pressurizing you or forcing you to do something. If you are already you are isolated from the world, so you cannot talk to your parents regularly. Yes, you can call them in your free time, but you should always find someone on board itself to share your thoughts and your feelings so that you don't get mentally stressed on board. So I did choose many people for my third engineers and everybody just started and relax. It's okay. You're in this rank, so this is common. Not no. This will build strength in you. That's what they told me. So I was like, okay, fine. So yes. So these are reasons which I chose merchant navy first of all. Then since you guys are in engineering now, I think mechanical and marine engineering fellow students are here. It's a much more simpler path. I would suggest if you want to go into the engine side, just get a sponsorship from a company and start doing training, and the company itself they'll start allotting you vessels and telling you the joining date. But if people really want to go into the navigation field and become a captain one day, you guys have to start preparing for your IME CET and start giving those exams. And once you finish that exams, you have to again do a DNS course, which is again 1 year course. So and then you'll get a chance to be on the deck side, deck cadet. So I think both of the journeys are similar time consuming, but since you guys are already doing engineering, I would prefer the engineering side because you just have to do 1 year of pre-C and that's it. So this is what I did. So I did my GME, 1 year of GME. Then I was posted as a cadet. So in Anglo you have to do two shifts. So one is an engine cadet, and the second is a TME. The TME is a much more senior rank than a cadet. So after that, I cleared my class 4 from MMD Mumbai, and now I'll be promoted to a fourth engineer, and I will start sailing as a fourth engineer. So once you sail, maybe have enough experience as a fourth engineer, and also have the skills of a third engineer, you will be automatically promoted. So there is no exam again. Then after third engineer, there is an exam to become a second engineer. There is a class 2. So you require seat time again. So and so months of seat time. So after that, you would become a second engineer on the basis of demand. So if there's a really demand to promote a class 2 holder, then you'll get a chance to become a second engineer. And once you become a second engineer, have enough seat time, you just have to clear a class 1, which is going to promote you as a chief engineer on board a ship. And as the in the image it shows that the height of the ranks goes up. It's very similar to the responsibilities which are going to increase. So as a cadet, I was like, there's no responsibility on me. So even if I do something really, a mistake, it is not going to be my. They're not going to point it at me because there is no responsibility for a cadet. You just come here to learn. So while learning, he will make mistakes. So this is what will happen. But since I've become a fourth engineer now, I have certain responsibilities and roles to play. So I'm hoping that it will be all good. So I have to start changing my mentality according to that, which I believe I would do that. So yes, it's just a small graph, how to join further for you guys. Then there's just few requirements which you know to satisfy, and you can go. Choose your path, that is tech or engine. Meet the eligibility. Engineering, I think you should have 60%, 10, 60%, 12, 60% in English. That's it. You don't need to be 90, 95% or something. So you can, that's an eligible criteria. The other eligible criteria is your vision should be, there should be no color blindness, and your vision, I wouldn't say 6 on 6 for an engine side, but it's better if you have better vision. If you're wearing spectacles or have some ailments, you can follow the same path which I did. I got myself a LASIK eye surgery. So yes, so I had done that, and now my vision is proper. So I was used to wear spectacles. So you can do that. Then the entrance exam, as I told you, deck side, of course the IMS CT is there. Then the engine side, uh, there are no particular exams, but they are company-based exams. So Anglo-Asian, when you get selected, there is an entrance test, there is an interview, there is a psychometric test, which you have to clear to get into the company. So similarly, there are other exams as well. Then undergo GME, then gain seafaring experience. So these steps I have completed, and I'm at the step 6 now. Actually, I should learn, become a fourth engineer, and start learning the next ranks roles. So I didn't add that yet. Excuse me. So the pros and cons of the industry. So everybody would know about the pros because I've already told you. But there are disadvantages, and the disadvantages, as you guys already know, I think so, because you guys are marine engineering students, so you would have researched, how I was researching at that time. So you will stay away from home. So that's one disadvantage. It's going to be short times, but sometimes you will feel that hitting you because you will feel that. That's what I can say. But you have to overcome that, and there is no immediate medical help. If in case you are um, having something not right in your system, in your body. So if there is an emergency, or if you commit a mistake, or get yourself injured on board, so there is no immediate medical help. Yes, they will they might get choppers, or get rented boats to take it to the nearest hospital, but it's not going to be immediate. So yes, being vigilant and alert is you have to be anytime. Even when you're in your sleep, you have to be, because you can never know. There'll be a sudden fire happening in your cabin as well, when you have your chargers and all plugged in, you have lights. So you just have to be ready for that. The third point, never-ending exams. It's the part and parcel of this career. So as like you can just think this as you're in the armed forces or in the police, because when you enter into the police or the armed forces as well, because if you want a promotion to the next rank, there are certain criteria that you have to satisfy. So I would just think like that. I'm like, okay, when they're writing exams, so no, why not we also write? It's going to be useful only. It's not no, you're going to prepare for this exam and finish, but it's not go in waste. So one day you will like at least be more senior to your rank and start earning more. So that is what I would just tell for this con. Then the fourth thing is social life. I wouldn't say it's much of an issue, because on board you just become a family at once. And people who are working on land also, I think they don't have such a you know a proud social life as well, because they're constant under constant pressure. And I think Saturday is what a day which they really enjoy. But on board social life, there are a lot of parties and which things go on board to keep the morality of the group. So that will satisfy your social life which you're missing. Because when my first shift is when I really started to started to drink beer as well, because before that I was not, and I'm not now. So I really started to drink. So when I was in on land, I was not. So my social life actually increased, right? So I can tell that. So on board there is these parties which will go on. So in that party, you just let fly and start, dancing and doing all these weird things, which will be really shy to do if you are on land, which I feel, which I was shy. Uh, so yeah, then social life, it depends on individual to individual. And then the piracy, uh, yes, it is a concerning factor, because at some places on Earth, some parts of the world, it's still an issue. But there are more stringent, rules and regulations which have come up in the recent times, and the cases have reduced. So this is what the cons I feel. So coming to the question, would I recommend someone, maybe one of you guys, contacting me and asking, I'm going to join this field? No. What should I expect? Let me give a small example. I think Vivek sir is in the meeting. So once Vivek sir called me up and he told, Manoj, you are excited, have that ambition to join merchant navy. But once when you get into the career, proper, when you get on board, is when you will realize, there's a reality behind it. Because now you might be really, I want to join, I want to join, seeing all these reels and posts from Instagram, which is misleading sometimes. So actually, what sir told was true, because when I went on board is when I really realized, okay, this is totally different than what I imagined. So you just have to cope up with that. So if you are able to cope up with that, I would recommend, okay, you can join. The second thing is, uh, if you really can stay away from your family and with your friends. So yes, of course you can go into this field. The third thing is, if you can, as I mentioned earlier, 24/7, if you are alert and you're physically fit, you're able to climb a flight of stairs in few minutes. So that is really good. The more quick you are, the more better it is. So yes, I would recommend. Then I would recommend, if if you are ready to be in isolation, you just have to finish your work, go back to your cabin, do whatever is required, then get up the next morning, come back to work. So this will be a routine cycle once it starts your career. And once you go out on deck, everywhere you see is water. There is no nearby humans or yes, once if you go into ports and nearby and near to countries, you will see. But most of the time, it's like in the middle of the ocean. And yes, if you are ready to accept that, okay, I've chosen this field because I wanted it to. So you have to bear all this. So there is no trying to no. My friends, some people have started to quit merchant navy because they didn't like the the one more thing I forgot, the temperatures being in an engine room is going to be extreme because there's running machinery around you. One thing as a junior is never touch any machinery because you might not know how the machinery is working. There are rotating and revolving parts. Then the temperatures in the engine room. In my first ship, I had a temperature of maybe 45 degrees in the engine room when I was close to Brazil and South Africa. So that was extreme heat. Okay, this was extreme heat. You have to keep yourself hydrated. You just have to, you have to cope up with that. And in my second ship, the temperatures were down to minus 20 in Russia. So the engine room temperatures were like 15, 16 and all. I was wearing jackets inside the engine room just to keep myself warm. So yes, you just have to adjust to both of the conditions because you cannot expect it is going to be an easy sail. So you just have to accept. So that is what I would recommend. If you're all ready for the conditions which I just told you, you can just opt this career path and just go with it. These are some of the photos which I like to love to share. This first one is a birthday party. This is a self-made cake. So these all are my seniors. This is my captain, my second engineer, third engineer. This was me. This one is in the Atlantic Ocean, middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Me just going to the bridge wing just to take my time off, just to just relax, with no wind on my face. This again was my first ship. This was a bulk carrier, and this photo is actually when we had Independence Day. So we had all been told to dress up in our uniforms, the officers, and these are the crew. So yes, so I really like sharing this with you guys today. Thank you so much for the opportunity once again, my dear faculty, Sunil sir, for getting in touch with me and letting me know. There is this opportunity. Would you like to? Well, yes, sir. Sure, I can do it. Since I had finished my class 4, I was much more happier to do it. I just wanted to do it. Okay, let's do this. These are my contact details. Anyone, anytime can whatever questions you might get regarding how to join or how thing, you can always contact me. My Insta ID is also there. Some of you guys are already following me. You would have seen me posting. Yes, so that's it from me, sir. That's it from me. I would like to stop sharing. Thank you once again, our beloved HOD. All my faculty have been a part of this journey. I wouldn't like to exclude anyone because where I'm standing today is a small reason is because of them as well. Yes, I have worked hard myself, but they have played their parts. Okay, so you just have to being being fellow students. You just have to utilize whatever they're trying to tell and whatever they're trying to teach you. So you just utilize and be humble to yourself. I think you can reach great heights. Thank you, everyone. Godspeed to all.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Your talk was very much inspiring. We appreciate your hard work and dedication. And also, we wish you continued success in your career as a fourth engineer. Now, it is open to the audience. If you have any doubts, you can ask, and also you can share your feedback of today's session.
ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಿಂದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಮೈಕ್ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿ
Yes, if you have any questions, you can start throwing it at me.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
My name is
who's this?
Piyush. My name is Piyush.
Hello, Pratish.
Currently, I am in third year.
Okay.
Okay, Marine. So my question is kind of personal, but can I ask you a personal question? Like, uh, see, I have my one of my uncles, my mom's friend, who's working,
Okay.
who did his marine engineering, but he did his GMA, but his family was not like kind of they're not supporting him like to go to sail or and he's now presently working in IT after doing his
Mm-hmm.
GME.
Mm-hmm.
So till the time of GME, his family was like kind of prepared, but at the last moment they were like backing off, like don't go and
Yeah,
all those.
yeah, I understand.
So what would you like to say about like how did you convince your family or your friends regarding this?
Okay, thank you for that question, Pratish. Even I was at a similar point, which I can relate to it actually. So as I told you, my brother's friend was in Merchant Navy, right? So he had done this course from some college. He was like, okay, I just wanted to do this course and let's do this. He was not sponsored. So that was a major mistake which he did. So later on, he went to few agents. He got cheated. He had to climb n number of companies, shipping companies, and give his resume and all that. So it took a long time for him to even get on board a ship, and he had to spend a lot of money. In my case, I was sponsored by Anglo Eastern. As soon as I was sponsored, and I told my brother like this, I'm going into Merchant Navy. His thoughts were immediately to stop me because his friend has suffered so much, so he didn't want me to suffer. Being my brother, he's like, no, this field is not good. You have to it's no there's a lot of cheating going on. There's no this is a common issues which are going on today as well. But I told my brother, just ask your friend about Anglo Eastern, no, so that he'll get convinced, right? So my brother asked him, and the first thing that came out of my brother's friend's thing was Anglo Eastern was one of the best companies, best training institutes. His job is secured. Even if he stays in the company, he will, of course, get ships, promotions, and all these benefits he started telling. Because that is what Anglo Eastern is reputed in the industry. So this word came to my brother's friend. And since my parents are not agreeing, as you told with your friend's case, it was similar. They were like, no, your brother's friend, suffered so much. We are financially not so great as well, so we cannot afford all this. But once my brother got to know that Anglo Eastern, I've been sponsored by Anglo Eastern, the first thing he told to my dad and mom, and he told them whatever his friend told him, because his friend is a second engineer now in Tom's tankers. So of course he's a senior in the industry, so he will know. So since he told that, mhm, my parents were like, okay, he's sponsored in a good company. So I think the job security worry is gone a little bit, because my parents are not yet sure, because I am telling all this and they are not in this field, right? So they have very less knowledge about this field. But I had to convince them. I had to tell them this is my this is what I'm gonna choose. This is what I'm gonna do. Uh, and initially, as they were not convinced. They were not happy sending me. Not they just came to the airport, and they were first thought was that they're gonna miss me. So I had to but now they're happy to cut it short, and now they're really happy now. Since I've cleared my class 4, they're in a state of okay. So now maybe further the life would be better now. because he's already become an officer on board. But yes, I think even if whatever struggles are going to come on my way, I think I'm ready to face it. So that's what I would tell Prithvish. I think if it's sponsored in a good company, I think you can just go for it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
So one more question.
Yes,
Can
yes,
I?
go ahead. Yes,
So,
yes.
as a person who is still working in the marine field, where do you see
Yeah.
the market or of merchant navy as an engineer, or as a not as an engineer, even as a tech department? How do you see the
Okay.
merchant navy industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
Thank you for that question as well. As what I've seen and what I've heard from my seniors, the industry is booming, man. There's no stopping. I think during COVID also, this was the only industry and the medical industry which was constantly on the run. There was no stopping of ships or there's no stopping of ports or anything. So there is no issue with the growth of the field is still growing. And nowadays many people, many young students are coming into the field. But I would like to suggest you that no, that's what this talk is all about. I just wanted to let you guys know that there is another reality in this field. So whatever you might see, so once one reel you see on Instagram regarding merchant navy, I think the algorithm catches up and it just shows you merchant navy reel. Like okay, he bought a BMW, he bought so and so. But reality is, it is going to be tough on board. The field is not going to stop, but once you enter this field, I think you have to be ready to face anything which comes your way. My friends have started quitting because they were not able to cope up with the pressure or being away from family or whatever reasons it might be. Some people also had medical issues once they've been on board. So just keep yourself physically fit, mentally strong, and yes, the field is not going to stop anytime.
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay, actually, I have many questions, but I'll just consider it to three. My last question. Okay,
Yes,
this
yes,
one
please.
kind of concerning because we can see in the present day, we can see the industry is getting automized and by the automation ministry and even due to the AI. The introduction to AI to this world has brought a very major change from where we see the chat GPT introduced from the last year to till today. We have seen many tools being influencing people's daily life, and it's been a very major thing. So, how do you see the marine industry getting affected due to the automation and AI?
I think this is one of the best questions, and most of you might have this question. I still remember going to Vivek sir and asking a similar question, telling that there is going to be unmanned ships and there is not going to be anybody on board. Ships are going to be controlled, via signals with remote or something. But oh yes, automation has come into the field of marine. There are so many things which you can find which are run on automation. For example, uh, the three-way valve of jacket cooling water system is fully automated because first it was manual first. So you have to open it up and close it up according to the temperature rise. Now you set a temperature and it automatically regulates the flow. So yes, it has come and other things also are there. But I don't think entire shift can be automated. Uh, there is a need. You need people on board because even while having people on board, there's still a lot of mistakes and things which happen. And once if you get into fully automated ships, I think this is going to increase in the beginning at least in the testing stage. So it's a huge step to take. Uh, but nowadays, I would like to tell many companies are not taking juniors, for example, fifth engineer or junior engineer, because they are excluding that rank itself. Because if they have senior engineers, I think they believe that they can run the ship. So I would tell that, but I wouldn't tell automation is gonna hamper the possibilities of joining this field. Yes, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Pritesh. I think Pritesh is raising his hand.
Sir, sir,
Yes, Pritesh, go ahead.
sir, should we need a PCM 60% to write GM is sponsorship of Anglo?
Okay. Yes, we need Pritesh. 60% of PCM. Yes, in PUC you need.
Can I also
So if you
answer
have
that question?
60, then what to
Manoj?
do?
1 minute, Pritesh. Yes, Vivek sir.
Can I answer that question on your behalf? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
The
sure,
small
sir.
confusion was with what Manoj told. Manoj told very specifically for Anglo Eastern. So the requirement of 60, 60, 60 is only for Anglo Eastern. The DG requirement is very specifically 15 English in your 12th and 50 percentage in your final year of engineering. That is the DG criteria. Institutes like IMS, Great Eastern all follow the DG requirement. This specific requirement is only for Anglo Eastern, which very few students, that including Manoj, have gone to. Most of the students don't have that requirement. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Manoj. Sorry
Yes.
for butting in. So just to
No, sir.
clear that.
It's always
It's a very
pleasure.
similar doubt that you had. So
Yes, I was being specific to Anglo Eastern. Yes, thank you for
yeah,
clearing things.
he was very specific to Anglo Eastern because Anglo Eastern is where he did his training, so he knows that very well, and he knows the struggle in the last semester when his marks came.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again. Is there any other questions? You can also contact me. I think even Vivek sir asked my details. You can always ask them if you have anything to ask. You can just take my contact details and start shooting a question. If there's no questions now, I think I will give it to Sunil sir to maybe end the session.
We also have Sub-Lieutenant Dr. Tanuj Kumar sir with us today. Sir,
Okay.
if you have any feedback to give, you can give, sir. Hello, sir, if I'm audible. We are very much happy to have Sub-Lieutenant Dr. Tanuj Kumar sir with us today. Sir, if you have any feedback to give, you can give it now, sir.
For people who are not really aware, Sub-Lieutenant Tanuj Kumar is my engineering classmate. So he's a professor in Rajarasheshwari College in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. So great to see Tanuj here, and a surprise also. I don't think Tanuj is able to respond.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful speech. Gratitude is the best attitude. I thank Mr. Manoj Khanna for being our esteemed guest speaker, taking time from your busy schedule to educate us. Thank you, sir.
Yes, it
Now,
was an honor. It was an honor.
Now, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Shankar K.S., Head of Department of Mechanical Engineering, for his motivation and guidance in making this event a success. Thank you, sir.
Just a small, I would like to sorry to interrupt. I would really like my faculty who are there, maybe Dr. Shankar K.S. And Vivek sir, and how was your experience? While I was there, maybe I know that maybe the students like to hear.
Sorry, to the MC. MC, do I have permission to speak?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sir.
All to you, sir.
Okay, yeah. To answer Manoj's question, Manoj, I remember very specifically from my third year, which is what he remembers also. In the third year, Manoj came to meet me and we had a talk. He wanted, he was very clear about his career path even then. So we had a long series of talks on what he wants to do when he passes out. So if you remember, he told about a career roadmap that he drew out. This was done very special. So he got this written down and he came to me and said, "This is what we want to do." And then I think Manoj was, from my experience, was one of the most persistent students, and who kept coming to me, said, "This is what I want to do. What should I do? What should I do?" For 2 years, he kind of kept that ball in his eyes. He had his eyes on the ball, and kudos to him for achieving what he wanted to do in the time that he set out, and wishing him all the very best. And it's such a pleasure to hear. It is one of the most what can you say, pleasant talks I had in a very long time. I did not know how this 1 hour went by. More than that, I think almost 1.5 hours. Manoj, lovely to see you grow as a speaker and as an engineer. You're always in our hearts, and all the very best for your career, Manoj. Yeah, that's it. MC, you can carry on. If any other faculty wants to speak, they can. I'm done from my side.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Thank you.
Now, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Shankar K.S., Head of Department of Mechanical Engineering, for his motivation and guidance in making this event a success. Thank you, sir. Next, I extend my gratitude to Dr. Lokesh V., Head of Department of Marine Engineering, for his support and guidance. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Professor Satyaprakash, ASMA Faculty Coordinator and Samath Project Manager, and Professor Sunil Prakash, AMES Faculty Coordinator, Department of Marine Engineering, for this dedication in arranging this program. Finally, I thank the organizing committee for their hard work in organizing this event for the benefit of the student. I would like to conclude by thanking all the participants for their wonderful participation despite their busy schedules on the weekend. Thank you, one and all.
Yes, thanks a lot, Manoj. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Thank you.